This is the funnest night ever!
Quit yanking our anuses!
Two people get together, do something social, have a few drinks, yada yada yada.
It's called Two Brothers. Two Brothers. It's just called Two Brothers.
Welcome to another special episode of Two Brothers.
And a black guy.
We have Maurice back for another episode, and Maurice is a good friend of ours, and he's been doing a lot of good work lately over on his YouTube channels. Go ahead and plug your stuff, man.
Yo, so I got a main channel under the name Feat.actionerdmedia. We're going to be doing a lot of film and video stuff. I'm actually going to be working on a new series we're going to talk about in this episode called Faith Through Film. I have a gaming channel under the name Action Nerd Gaming. I'm going to be playing all types of games, some different series coming soon as well. I also release music under independent label Maurice Movie Records. Music is available on all streaming platforms. And here to love God and love people. We out here.
Yeah. So, and we also have his debut album. It's a debut album, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We have his debut album playing in the background.
Heaven's Warrior. Yep.
So, we're out here. We're popping. So.
Yep.
We lit.
It's like, shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
dog.
What are you trying to do?
Great
Try to
start.
be-
Great start, man.
I'm trying to be hip.
Yeah, I'm trying to reach the TikTok on you.
Oh my god, man.
Yeah, so one of the big things about the podcast lately, we've been talking a lot about video games and comic books. We thought it'd be interesting to kind of divert. I don't know the fucking word.
I think the same difference. We what you mean. Yeah,
to
yeah.
to a different topic, and this one really spoke to us, and one of the things I guess really spoke to me is what Maurice mentioned earlier is one of his upcoming projects, Faith Through Film. I can't do it justice. Maurice, you tell us what it's about.
All right, cool. So Faith Through Film is an idea that let me freaking turn my phone back on. I can't read more. I'm sorry. Faith Through Film is an idea that I recently just got. So I turned 22 this past week past week and a half, like July 6th. So God hit me with this idea. So basically, I view God speaks to me a lot through entertainment, which in a way that it doesn't really reach a lot of people, which is why this is a big part of my dreams with YouTube and everything. But basically, so what the series is going to be about, Faith Through Film, is going to be kind of like a mix between like a video essay and like a video testimony, kind of an inspirational video as well. So basically, I'll be taking a lot of my favorite movies like Raiders of the Lost Ark, Fury, Die Hard, Remember the Titans, and I'll be giving like a faith takeaway from the movies that are in question. So I'll be talking about the movies themselves, and then I'll also be diving into a lot of personal stories of like how I personally like have gone through certain things that the characters in the film have gone through as well, and then giving an ultimate like takeaway, like what can you take away from this movie? What can we all learn together? So like I said, it'll be blending of different genres, and I'm gonna be completely honest, man. I'm super insecure about even putting it out there because been doing YouTube for about like 3 months now. With the first channel, like I guess I've kind of been struggling just to find original ideas right now, because obviously the main goal with that one is to be making short films again, but it's going to be a while before I can actually do that on my current schedule. But I'm really insecure about putting it out there because like obviously blending my faith with pop culture is something I know a lot of people may not enjoy or may not like, and then also I don't want the religious audience because I'm going to be cussing a lot, so there's gonna there's a lot that I'm kind of just scared about how it's going to be perceived. But I know the idea is fire. I know it's from God, and the fact that I'm so like afraid to like put it out there is all the more reason why I know it's going to be important for building the channel, because I'm going to be real vulnerable with all the stuff I'm going to be talking about, because that's just it's a part of my message. So but that's what Faith Through Film is going to be. I'm going to be taking a lot of my favorite movies, a lot of movies that people won't necessarily, like I said, because they're not really going to see it that way, like won't necessarily think like I don't see it that way. But that's what it's going to be about. It's going to be my favorite movies, talking about like a faith takeaway, giving a lot of personal stories I didn't really think I'd have to tell on that channel, but it'll be opening up a lot more. So so that'll be starting pretty soon. They're going to take a while to produce. I'm thinking I'll probably try and drop like 1 to 2 a month, but it's going to be cool, and that's what it's going to be about.
It's interesting that you bring that up about like about movies and how certain people perceive them and everything. And you mentioned like Die Hard, and like normally people would think that's just like a straight up action movie.
Yeah.
Or like Indiana Jones would be like just like a straight up action movie. But like there's different layers. Yeah. There, not a lot of YouTube creators, at least that I know of, do that sort of thing.
Yeah, and see that's why I'm definitely, I know that's a good thing, because obviously the hard thing about YouTube is building a fan base, but also having those ideas that stand out. You know what I mean? And so, as far as I know, no one's really viewing film through a lens of faith. So I know it's gonna stick out somehow. You know, it's gonna be important, because obviously you finding your originality, like audiences are really difficult to impress nowadays, right? So you gotta give them something fresh that they've never seen before and seen and or heard before. So that's it's gonna be good for sure. Yeah. So
and then there are there's certainly like those movies and TV shows that do kind of hit it on the head a little bit, or they do talk about religion and everything. One of those shows is one of our favorites. I think we can all agree.
One of my favorite shows too.
Is Marvel's Daredevil.
Yep.
From Netflix, which unfortunately got fucking canceled, which sucks.
No, I won't even go there, man. Like, I want a season 4 so bad, though, man. It'd be so sick.
Hopefully we do get a season 4 somewhere down the line.
One of my favorite shows. Is so fucking good, bro. It's so good.
But yeah, that, if you want to talk about a prime example of a show that does talk about that, Daredevil is one of those. One of those shows.
Definitely.
You, Edgar, you definitely like that. I know that connected with you too.
Yeah.
That show.
So, I would like to say, like, comics kind of opened up a little bit about my faith.
Yeah.
You know, I always believed in God, but for some reason, I don't want to say I stopped, but you know how everything is. Like,
yeah.
But I believed in him, so I still do. But I would say Preacher's another show, another comic book that also talks about religion, but the one that stuck out most is Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason it stuck out to me more and it got me, how do you say, in touch
with your faith.
Well, my faith again is last year was the beginning of the year was really bad for me, man. Like,
yeah, for sure. I know that.
I lost
for you.
I got let go from a job, stuff like that, and one day for me just felt really awkward for me. I didn't feel myself, and just I guess what I had was like really, really bad anxiety for like a couple of weeks, and what I gave a shot to, because nothing was helping me, was reading the Bible basically. And I found the sense of how do you say, calm and all that
like
negativity,
more peace. And
That's awesome, man.
And I looked into how the last season of Daredevil, season 3, talked a lot about religion and how you question your faith and how you question God and all these things. And there's this, I don't know if it's from season 3, but throughout, I would like to say throughout Daredevil season 1, 2, and 3, there's scenes of where he talks to the Father Lantum about how he feels and questions God and all that. You know what? I that's how I feel right now. I question God, why I am having these bad anxiety attacks, and why do I have mental health and all these stuff, right? And I found out that even he's a fictional character. I'm not the only one who feels that way, who questions all these things.
Dude, that just goes to show you how well written fucking Daredevil is as a comic book character. He's not just like a superhero who has all these fucking powers and anything, but he also deals with kind of these existential crises and
layers, man.
Yeah, and
layers,
these crises
dude.
of faith.
Layers.
He also goes through that in the comic books too, more recently as well. When in, I don't know what it, shit, I don't know which comic book, like issue it was, but he ended up killing someone on accident.
Oh,
he didn't mean to do it intentionally, and when he found out like who that person was and kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? The backlash of that, you know, the consequences from that.
Yeah.
He sort of feels like he needs to be punished, and you know, he feels like God is punishing him. You know, he strips away his mantle as Daredevil. He starts to go through these moments of crisis and everything. Like, so he definitely, religion is a huge part of his character, not only in the show but in the comic books for sure. And in that scene that you were describing about, was also talking about how he has that anger towards God, and sort of redirecting that anger and that hate into something more positive, which is a, at least for me too, is a huge part of you know, reconnecting or connecting with your faith, is dealing with those emotions that you really kind of unstable.
Go back and forth.
Argumentation is a skill. Being argumentative is a sign.
A sign like a prophecy?
A sign like you're angry, Matthew. That's a perfectly understandable reaction to your situation. But it's not sustainable.
Or maybe it's a sign that Sister Dora should stick to teaching math.
You're good at arguing and deflecting and denying you're angry to other people. But you're gonna have to deal with your anger, Matthew. Find a way to harness it, or it will destroy you.
Well, if that's God's plan for me, then I guess that's how it's supposed to work out, isn't it?
I think that's a good time to segue into a question. Like, since we're kind of getting more personal, like with these characters and stuff, I want to we'll just go around. I can start with Edgar and go that way. I just want to ask you guys, like, what does faith and like relationship with God mean to you? Like, what's the, if you had to describe, like, you know, what this journey, what this path of believing, like what that's like for you guys, what would you guys say? And we'll start with you, Edgar. We'll just go that way.
Because I know you touched on it a little bit.
Yeah.
There, so go ahead.
I guess how Maurice says it, how God can, how do you say, redirect how you feel about him, or what's the word I'm looking for? Well, basically, I feel like I know how when I was so, like, to be honest, I felt lost last year, like super fucking lost. And
relatable, man. It was 2020, man. I
I think on top of fucking the pandemic and all that shit.
I think everyone, if you didn't struggle with something last year, you're a lying bitch. Like,
everyone was fucking lost.
So no, don't feel bad, but go ahead.
Like, nothing seemed to help. You know, like you would tell meditate. At some point, exercise.
Get up
at some
more.
Point,
those kinds of things.
I was in medication to help that because nothing would help.
Yeah.
And for some reason, something told me to look into my comic books.
Yeah.
And I read the comic books, and I went, you know what? I feel like Daredevil talked about this, about his faith, about God. And that's when I started looking into that and kind of opened my mind towards that.
Yeah.
And it sounds fucking stupid I'm about to say, but I want to thank Daredevil because
shout out to Daredevil
because he opened that door again.
Absolutely.
To my faith.
Yeah. Dude, that shows you how powerful fucking comic books are, man.
Yeah.
Like they're not just some form of literary or literature that you can read and everything. Like, definitely can pull you out of some fucking tough spots.
And stuff can save lives for sure.
It pulled you out of a fucking rough spot too.
And I want to also thank God because I started, it sounds, I don't know why I keep saying that, but since last year I started reading my Bible again, and I can find a sense of. It's like meditation, kind of. You read these, I just like to randomly pick a section of the Bible and read it, right? And read what I, think of what I read in that section of the Bible. What that means. What's that meaning? So throughout that, I want to, thank those
two things:
those
comic
things
books,
and
Daredevil, and God.
Yep. There you go.
That's how it is.
It's weird. Like once I feel lost again, or just out of the blue, something tells me, read the Bible, and I read it, and it brings a sense of peace to me, and it feels good. Like, I don't know. I can't keep bragging out about this, but go ahead, Albert.
I same thing too. It's weird. Because earlier this year, I also went through some really, really fucking bad anxiety and crippling, like, depression. And without getting too into it as to why I felt that way, I also felt really lost. A lot of the things that I normally would turn to didn't really help at the time. And, just because I also, I did also believe in God and everything, but I felt like it kind of lost touch.
There you
go. I started to just do a nightly prayer every night, and
essential.
And it really helped me. And after a while, I started to feel more calm. I started to feel more relaxed, and it's strange, but it's at least I know all three of us can attest to it. But you don't really know what kind of motivates you to do certain things, when you're like, at least for me, when I was writing my book or my screenplay at the time, I can't really figure out, like, why I got that sudden surge of energy. Why am I feeling more relaxed? Why am I feeling more like, no, I don't have as much anxiety anymore? And I truly believe that it is because, reconnecting with God and knowing that, certain characters in comic books too. I think we talked about it in that that episode about comic books and mental health, like how certain superheroes go through mental health and they go through their own problems and everything like that. And I don't know, I just feel like, that is true, and I don't feel alone. And that's at least with my relationship with my religion and with God, it's another outlet for me to make me feel like, I'm not alone. I'm okay. And it's everything's fine, and I have that. It's always gonna be there. Even if you lose touch a little bit, like you can just nudge yourself back and start again. That sort of thing. So.
Right.
What about you, Maurice?
Yeah, so for me, like, I'm glad we're talking about this. So we've never actually like talked about like how we view faith, like each like as a group. But for me personally, I do not believe in religion. I personally that was not a word. Personally, I meant not personally. What the hell was that? I'm sorry. Anyway, I believe that like in just in the world in general, religion is really just more about like just control and rules. But for me personally, like, it's all about relationship with God. Everything that your beliefs, like how you move, just like how you deal with pain and any of it really. It has to be, like, for me, it's rooted in relationship with God. So for me, it's not about religion, it's about relationship with Jesus. Because I just, like, I grew up, I don't know about you guys, but I did grow up in the church, and I saw, like, just different, some of it was religion, some of it was actually relationship, and saw, like, just different viewpoints of how that is, and, like, I just, like, I know, like, strongly and solidly, like, it has to be about relationship with God, like, so, I personally don't have a religious view on anything, just because that's just not the kind of faith that I walk in personally. But yeah, so for me, it's really just about, like, that's why it's the slogan from all my channels. For me, it's just loving God and loving people, being yourself, coming as you are, and just like for me, like personally, like I pray like at least 3 times a day now. You know, just growing your intimacy with Christ, and that really is just the foundation for everything, man. Because I mean, outside of that, dude, like, whew, my God, I'm so glad, because I like towards the beginning of the year I had a panic attack, probably the worst one I ever had. Like, I don't have those. That doesn't happen to me. But it was like the worst thing ever. I don't know, like if you guys have dealt with it, you know, you have that moment where it's like, okay, I'd like to die now, please. I had never experienced that before, so I'm just like, what the hell is going on, you know? And then like I started like, you know, calling people and getting stuff off my chest, and just stuff that I held inside from people that had hurt me for like 4 years. So it was I know it was totally from God, not the pain, of course, but like because, you know, there was a panic attack, but then it led to like the best breakthrough in my life, you know, because now that then my faith just grew so much, and then I started the channel, and I'm so glad that I had that, because just the way that I view things now through a faith lens is just so much better. Because if I hadn't had that breakthrough like before my channel started in April, like I would be in such a bad place mentally. It'd be terrible, you know. Yeah. So like I know that happened right when it needed to. But yeah, so for me, having a relationship with God is, oh my God, you good?
sorry, my
You're like a little kid, just
no,
stand still.
I'll tell you why. It's because my fucking shoulder blade hurts. So I'm trying to bend down so that it can.
He dropped the recorder, y'all. If y'all wonder why we laughing, but no, it's all good.
Okay.
But yeah, no. But for me, a relationship with God is not about religion. It's about loving God and loving people. You know, and then grow your intimacy, and He will just deal with all that from there. So yeah. So yep.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, kind of the things that we turn to is like films. At least for you, I know for you for sure, Maurice.
Yeah.
Music, video games, that sort of thing.
Yep. Shows too.
Yeah, and so one of those things is like about, you know, films. What kind of films do you think talk about that? Besides just Daredevil, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd say, well, I mean, and we can kind of segue back into that. I'd say, what are I want to ask, like, what are some of your favorite like movies or shows about faith, but also like it doesn't necessarily have to be like specifically about faith, because I know a lot of movies, even if they are about it, I just feel like our culture doesn't really see it that way, so it's kind of hard to connect on that level. It's not hard for me because that's just God speaks to me through movies, but I feel like it is for a lot of people. So I'd say, what are some of your favorite movies and or shows about faith, and then also, or even if you don't see it through faith, like what are some of the favorite like movies or TV show like moments that like connected with you so much that like helped you out of a dark place, you know, besides Daredevil, because we already talked about that one.
I got nothing to talk about. Well, a movie for me.
You know what? You guys keep talking. Dude, I gotta fucking stretch so this pain can go away. God damn it.
Okay, don't drop this.
No, I won't drop it. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna look all awkward in the background.
Okay. We're coming back to you, so hurry up. Cool.
Yeah. Jeez, Albert.
Okay. I know.
This is a very first for us in the podcast. Albert just stretching.
Oh, this fucking wild. No, it's all good. You gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm talking like this. My fucking shoulders like up here.
I don't feel like I should talk because we're gonna break and laughing. Because what are you doing?
No, keep talking, guys.
Go ahead. This fool's not here.
For me, I would like to say Dogma from Kevin Smith. Talked a lot about that, about faith, and I would say he takes that into a comedic way, not taking it seriously, so you can like laugh along the way. Not a religion, but like I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Like the concept and the ideas and all these things that you question about religion. He tackles that,
right.
And I would say that's kind of like a perfect movie that, you know, that's kind of like talking about religion and all that. Yeah. That's, for me, that's like a good movie to see if you know, that talks about faith and all that. Okay. So
nice.
Yeah.
I didn't go.
You good?
So I might as well just deal with it for now.
Poor Alberto. This fool had to stress doing the whole thing. I heard a couple of pops, and he sits back down. No, I didn't go away.
So, what about you?
Oh God.
You go give that man a massage.
Yeah.
No, dude, I gotta stop doing this shit. Okay.
Like
for
a pillow
me,
for your back?
no, well, no, I think I'm fine for it.
You good? Okay.
If it gets worse, I'll,
All right.
do something about it.
Okay.
No, but horror films, I think, are huge. A lot of the premise of horror films, like The Conjuring or The Exorcist, or like a more recent movie with The Vigil, they that's sort of like the main kind of plot of that film, are certain characters that are, or the main protagonist kind of has a loss of faith, that kind of thing. And I don't know, it does, while also scaring the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Can also kind of make you feel more closer to God too, and can help you also to reconnect with your faith. And I think kind of the overall message of those films are like you're more stronger than your demons.
Yeah, there you go.
I never thought of it like that. That's actually pretty cool, because I'm not a big horror movie fan, and like I can't watch a lot of like the paranormal activity, like Conjuring stuff, just because like I was demonically attacked as a kid several times. So that stuff hits home for me. I'm just like when I see that footage, I'm just like, nope, fuck that. That brings back childhood memories. Like, oh my god, I gotta make a video about that. No, that was not fun, dude. But yeah, no, like I have a hard time with like specifically the demonic type horror, because I'm more like in a psychological horror. But that's a cool. I'm glad you said that, because like I've never viewed it like that, But that's a cool. That's a cool. See that gives you some inspiration, because like that kind of that's cool. At least, I never thought of it like that.
At least for me, it does kind of that hits home. And
like pushing through the adversity.
Yeah, and you can say what you want about those films. Some people think that they're just just horror films that they could watch, or movies that are like inspired by true events, that kind of thing.
Right.
But it speaks to people on different levels. For some people, they can take it at face value, like it's just a horror film. For some, it's just it can help them with their faith. And I don't know. I think for me, it definitely kind of helped me, see through that. And it's not just like your own personal demons, mentally too.
Yeah.
You can go through that, and God gives you that power to
push
fight,
through.
to fight that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And gives you those tools to overcome that kind of adversity.
Word.
Did I say that word right?
Yeah, you said it right. You good.
So
cool.
Oh man, I'm feeling a bit better.
No, so just I just don't want to touch on that little thing that you were talking about. Another good thing that when you have those moments of fear, or like you were saying, the one that stuck out to me a lot was can't believe it. What's that movie? Son of God. I saw that last year, and the one that stuck out to me the most is what he says to his disciples, and in the moment where he's being crucified. He's being taken to the hill, and and I think it was his mom that went up to him, and she was crying and all this, and like throughout throughout what was going on with him, the whipping and all this stuff, right, to Jesus Christ, he tells his mom, don't be afraid. Like how calm he was, even though he know what what was going to happen to him anyways. He was going to die. And in those moments, he was like, don't be afraid,
Yep.
Which is kind of, it's like a strong moment in that film that stuck out to me. Like, even when you feel afraid or lost, and don't be afraid. Don't let it's gonna you're gonna come out of it fine.
Yep.
So
before Maurice says his point is like he was talking about how he went through his own panic attack, and that can be a very scary thing.
Woo, man, dude. Like I said, I'm so glad that because it was from God, because like I said, I was holding stuff inside for years and stuff that I didn't even know were problems, right? And then God just hit me, but at the time it felt like shit, you know. And you guys know, because I mean, I'm telling you, like, that doesn't happen to me, you know what I mean? But when it did, it was like, oh shit, I'm ready to die, you know. Like I meant like feeling like a 3-year-old kid. I had to go upstairs, wake my grandma up at 2:00 in the morning, and have her hold me.
I mean, dude, it can fucking, you know, it could bring you, reduce you to a fucking child.
Yeah, dude, like, really man, but then, you know, as soon as I started, like, you know, really getting that breakthrough, it's like, okay, this is the change that I needed, you know. I mean, I hated that. Well, I'm not gonna say I hate that, because I mean, the results were good. I'm just saying, like, I think there's still like that part of me, like, my heart still aches for people in that way, because I know, like with you guys and like other people that you know, like, I know so many people struggle with it in a way that it was like, you know, I mean, even talking to you, like, towards the end of last year, it was just like, yo, like, how is your relationship with God going? Because I'm not having a good time. I need to reach out to someone, you know, and I'm glad that, like, I gave you the safe space to where you could do that, because, oh my God, like, man, yeah, that was rough, but it was good afterwards. But, like, I guess, like I said, I still, like, feel like that burden on people that it doesn't really have, like, that light at the end of the tunnel as quickly as it did for me, because for some people, a lot of people, it just sucks, you know what I mean? So yeah, so.
And I think, you know, one of the big things about faith and everything, and especially like what we're talking about, those horror films, is it teaches you to have kind of this unrelenting kind of, like, you have to be kind of really, really strong, and you cannot kind of flinch at that.
Yeah, you can't back down.
At that type of adversity, whether it's mentally, whether it's whatever it is. And certainly with Daredevil, that's kind of his thing too. You know, when he's in combat, when he's fighting the bad guys and everything, he has to be unflinchingly 100% living up to his title of the man without fear.
Yep.
And that's kind of what I think, at least what for me is like, that's what kind of God is teaching me to be, is kind of be
the man without fear.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Yeah, because I'm in the same place too.
Yeah,
that's
and it's
great
like,
to hear.
Yeah, it's okay to be, you know, afraid too.
Yeah,
you know,
just don't live in fear. Don't act out of fear.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's gonna sound weird, but one thing that I kind of stuck with me was what 50 Cent said once. It was just like, pray or worry, don't do both. You know, just so you know,
ooh, that stands out.
Yes,
absolutely.
It's like, you can't just pray and then start worrying. It's like,
all right, God, get rich or die trying, man of wisdom. I see you.
God's gonna look at you like, why are you worried? Like, you either do one or the other. You can't do both. You know? And that's sort of the thing that, at least with me, with God, is like, you have to just be. It's okay to be afraid, but you can't just let that.
Just don't stay stuck.
Yeah, like, God will eventually come to your aid.
Yeah.
But if you're just like, you know, like, for example, like, God, please help me with this health problem I got, or this mental problem I got, and then you finish your prayer, and then you start worrying about that thing again. It's like, well, then
what was the point of the prayer in the first place?
You're back at, you know, zero again.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a lot of what comic book characters are. You know, even the best ones like Batman or Daredevil or Spider-Man. It's like, they have to act, you know, a lot of the times suddenly to situations that they have to be called upon, and they have to be very rigid, and they have to be strong. They can't mess up, that sort of thing. And faith kind of teaches you that, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's okay to take a few, you know, missteps and everything, but
yeah, no, I mean, dude, we're all human. We're all gonna fuck up. You know, I got, like, you know, I mean, to me personally, like, I'm 22. I got my whole life to mess up. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, you know, like, you learn from your mistakes. God teaches you what you need to, like, learn on the path. But you just, you know, just like, you get knocked down, but you get back up. You know,
just like that scene where we're just watching Daredevil. The priest said, we got free will. God gave us that free will.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah. And then more than anything, it's weird, but like horror. More than anything, like horror films do teach you that.
Yeah.
You know, kind of to not be afraid of those things. It's like that movie, The Vigil. I don't know if you've seen it, Maurice. It's on Hulu. If anyone's seen it, you can watch it. I know you probably wouldn't watch it. It's pretty.
It's not scary, but it just. It's unsettling.
I'll think about it.
But anyways, I'm gonna spoil the ending here, so hopefully people are okay with that, and hopefully you're okay with that, Maurice. But,
No, it's all good.
at a certain point, for him to overcome that demon, he had to go through that hallway where all these it was like hands or demons were like coming at him and everything. He had to just continue going through, and he had like this just one candle, and he had to just push through it and everything. And it's as long as he had faith on his side, he would be fine, and he was, and he overcame that adversity. You know, and that applies to everything.
Yep.
And it's rare, but you know, entertainment can do that. Can really help you reconnect with faith and stuff like that. So, what else do we got, Maurice? Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think I still had to do my favorite ones. Okay, I have a lot here because I have series written. It's like stuff written down for my series, so I'm gonna try and just go through some of my favorite ones. Okay, so movies about faith. Okay, so I'm gonna try and mention. I have a lot here. I'm gonna stick to like 4. I'm gonna give like quick points and
That's
we'll move
fine,
on.
man.
Yeah.
Take your time if you have to.
Yeah, there's definitely more than that. I was trying to figure like which ones stick out to me most. Okay, well I say Raiders of the Lost Ark. That is like still to this day my favorite movie of all time. That so much not. Well, I mean there's some faith stuff in there. Obviously because like he's chasing the Lost Ark of the Covenant, which was the where Moses put the 10 Commandments, I believe. Yeah, like that's where he placed it. So obviously there's like that chasing of that religious artifact or whatever. And that is, I got like kind of an appeal to history as well because of that movie too. But that movie was really the beginning of like my creative journey. Like that was the movie that really planted this entertainment and filmmaking like dream in my heart. Like that's really where it began. Like once I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark, that same year I saw when I was 10, it was in 2009. And then that same year I got a flip cam and started making movies. And so yeah, that movie, it has a spiritual connection for me. I feel like it'll probably always be my favorite movie of all time, just because that's really when God, like, you know, he put that dream in my heart and said, like, you're going to be one of those people. You're going to be a creator. You're going to be a filmmaker. You're going to do all this kind of stuff. And it's a kick-ass movie, man. It's Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, I love that movie. I know you guys haven't seen Indiana Jones. Well, he hasn't seen Indiana Jones. Alberto.
I'm gonna. You won't be able to hear me too much because right now I feel good when I'm speaking.
Just try to speak louder.
Yeah, speak louder.
I'm trying to, but yeah, I'm halfway through Indiana Jones.
That's okay.
We're gonna beef this man up on his action films because we have action films to make and he needs to catch up. All right,
I haven't seen Die Hard.
Yeah, so we're gonna redeem that sin and then he'll actually have a relationship with God once he's seen him. Okay, but anyway, so that's the first one because that's really the one that began my creative journey, Raiders of the Lost Ark. And another one of my favorite movies is called Fury. It's a World War II movie about a tank crew. It has
is that the one with Brad Pitt?
Yeah, Brad Pitt. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Love Fury. Now I do. The characters in the story is not great. I will admit that. And there's a middle section in the film where they're just kind of like chilling at this one German chick's house for no particular reason other than the fact that they just don't want to be in combat. So the movie itself, like structure wise, yeah, it has its issues, but it's still one of my favorite movies. Because I love the visual style. The action kicks ass. There's this like it's a really small detail, but like there's these when they shoot the guns, you kind of see like these like green and like red like flares going through like the air, and it looks like Star Wars, and it shouldn't work, but it's badass. Like it's cool. It just I don't know. It shouldn't work for a World War II movie, but I love that little detail. And also. I do love the characters. The soundtrack is one of my favorite soundtracks ever. It's a phenomenal soundtrack, but the main reason I love that movie so much is that at the end of the film, it's a spoiler, but it came out in 2014. Get over yourselves. But at the end of the film, a claymore goes off and it busts their tank, and so Brad Pitt's character, he decides to stay there and just fight all the Germans that are coming through. And so they want to leave initially because they know they're going to lose. They know they're going to die. Like one tank versus a whole battalion, like they're going to lose. But the fact that they all stood there and they all decided we're going to fight this good fight until the absolute end, I'm a sucker for stuff like that. Like, you know, in such a divided America, such a divided world that we live in now, to see people working together, even when they know they're going to lose, like it's very clear that they're going to die. You know, they're outnumbered, they're outgunned, they got like barely as much stuff as they need to actually succeed in this fight, but they fight and they kick fucking ass until the death, and that blaze of glory, I love that. Yeah, I love that. And like only one of them survived in the end, but I think that's just badass. And to me, it just shows me like even when you're gonna fail at something, you always have to try. Yeah. You always have to go. You always have to stand and just say like, if retaliation comes, fuck it, it just comes. You just got to go for it. So I love that. And then I'll probably just go for 3 just because I have a lot. But yeah. Let me see which one here that I like. Let's see. And then another one that my favorite movies that I really got like a good faith message was from and it's actually a film about faith. It was a Bible story, The Prince of Egypt. I don't know if you guys have seen that. No. Phenomenal movie. Okay. Super underrated. It's a DreamWorks animation, and it's about the story of Moses, basically. Mm-hmm. But great soundtrack in there too. But basically, really the message I got behind that is just really just there's a song in there called Believe, and the hook kind of goes like, there can be miracles if you believe, even though like hope is frail, it's hard to kill, stuff like that. But basically it's about Moses and just like him going back to Egypt and Pharaoh and everything like that. If you guys probably know the story of Moses. It's very common, but great animation, great film. But really what I take away from that is just in this whole journey of creation and stuff like that, and just I'm a super big dreamer. I'm also spiritually sensitive and I overthink. Bad combo at times. It really sucks, but I mean really what I take away from that is just no matter what comes against you, no matter how much you get knocked down, no matter how hopeless things may feel, no matter how much you might get tired or burn out, whatever, you have to believe. You have to believe in the power of Christ, and that He has the best for you, and that you just got to keep going, and that if you're in a calling, you got to stay in it, and you just got to believe. Obviously push yourself, learn, grow. I know I have a lot to learn about just YouTube and marketing and promotion and stuff that it's really hard to do, but the main message to take away from Prince of Egypt is just, to believe no matter what. Believe beyond imagination. And it's a quote from Albert Einstein that says, imagination is the preview to life's coming attractions, so never lose your imagination. People say they're too old for imagination. Fuck those people. Yeah, your imagination's awesome. You can't be a creator without an imagination, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So, that's the 3 I would say I got a lot of on this list that I have right now. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Fury, and The Prince of Egypt are some of my favorites when it comes to just really how it helped shape the path that I'm on in faith and everything. So, yeah, that would be that for me. Let me see if I got another question here. Let me see.
Yeah, before we start wrapping up.
Yeah, because we're at. Let me see where we're at.
My fucking back hurts.
We got about 20 minutes. Okay.
I don't know what happened.
You can make it. You can make it.
I injured myself.
You're gonna need ice and a good massage. All right, I got you, bro. Okay, but anyway, and then let me see. Okay, and I guess like how this is kind of the same thing. I feel like it might be a bit redundant, but I guess like as you guys' creative journey grows, as mine grows, as we keep pushing for this thing, I guess like how. I guess like talk about like how like what faith or relationship with God was like for you like growing up, because I don't know if you guys grew up in the church like me, but also just talk about like how you're building your relationship with God now, like where you at with God now, and then I guess you can talk about like how what entertainment or what shows, movies, comic books are helping you like on that path that you're on right now, just build that relationship and get better, you know what I mean? So yeah,
you go on this one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as a kid, really, I think Edric can also attest to it. We did go to church for quite some time, and then we kind of dropped off of that. And then obviously, like earlier this year, I kind of reconnected with my faith, and what's keeping me kind of on that path is just doing those nightly prayers. Yep. And I still do that before I go to bed, and it just kind of helps me put my mind at ease. And comic books still as well with Edgar kind of helps just kind of ground me and kind of center me, and it just really helps me to know that I'm not the only person that's going through those types of problems, whether it's physical or whether it's like mental stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have too much to say on this one. You know, I just really, as of now, just, you know, I feel like I am in a good place. I feel like you could always be better, you know. So.
Yeah.
But
building, you know, growing relationship
Yeah.
takes time and work for sure. But I mean, prayer. I mean, that's essential. So that's a step in the right direction, bro, for sure.
And I don't want it to sound, at least to the people listening, that we're like trying to fucking beat it over their heads about this kind of thing. And you know, if you don't care about it, you know, it's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. But at least for us, this is what works for us.
Right.
And you know, it also helps that fucking Doom is as Christian as it comes. So,
that is true, dude, bro. Think about like the concept of Doom. How do we get Christians to play the most violent video game ever made? Kill demons.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, because I mean, this is a little bit of tangent. I'm not gonna go too long, because I'm gonna let Edgar go. But no, like, I remember I was my grandma, like, they don't like video games, stuff like that, you know. But I was playing Doom one time. And it was like, what's this game about? Like, I'm a slayer and I kill demons. And she's like, I want to shoot demons, you know. So you know, but no, I mean, like, that. Come on, man. Like, it really, like, you kill demons. Like, Doom Eternal, which will be coming to my channel, is one of the best games of all time, man. Like, it's awesome, you know. So
I know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but that is a different discussion for
Yeah.
another
Well, hey,
episode.
look, we don't hate. We love everybody, but you know, we're gonna stand firm in our faith, and that's that, you know.
Yeah,
So
go for
but
it.
Wait, what was the question?
basically, how is your relationship with God now? Like, how are you building? And I guess if you're, depending on where you're at, like, what movies or shows are kind of like helping you, like, get staying on that good path you're on right now, you know. So
Yeah. It's weird. Like, I'm still. It sounds ridiculous. I'm still learning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because
not ridiculous, yeah, always. But
like I said, I'm rereading the Bible. You know, and if I have a, let's say, a question about what a section of the Bible is, you know, I read about, I talked to my parents about it because they know, right?
Yeah.
And it's nice to have those conversations too with your parents. You know, I try to understand the meaning of that section of the Bible or stuff like that. Yeah. It opened I want to say it kind of opened my mind of things I wouldn't think about. You know, so to this day, you know, I'm still learning, still questioning. Not God, but like questioning things around the world. That's how the way I think, you know. And yeah, to me, I'm still learning, which is, you know, sounds weird that you're still learning about the Bible and stuff like that, you know. So
word. Yeah, man. I say for me, dude, it's just like, as I've stepped into this whole like YouTube music journey, like obviously, you know this whole creation thing is real hard. But so I'd say life in general is the hardest it's ever been, and it's not about to get no easier. But in that, my faith is stronger because of it, you know, and through it, because I believe that, you know, when you step into your call, like, you can't expect it to be easy, you know. But you just have to, like I said, for me, just have to believe that God's got you, and that, you know, no matter what comes against you, no matter how you feel or how much you fail or whatever, like, you just have to believe that, you know, He's got you and has this thing for you. And like, I know that if you have a dream, if you have a call, and you don't actually go through the pain that it takes to get to that level, you can never really live in the life that God has for you, you know. Because I mean, like I said, I'm a big dreamer. I'm here to change the world, you know. Like, I can't do this mundane life crap forever, you know. Like, one of these days I gotta head up to that stupid factory that I'm working at right now and say, I'm a YouTuber now, peace, you know what I mean? So no, and I think the thing for me, man, and I mean, I'm a YouTuber already. I know I'm already a success, but you guys know what I mean. But yeah, no, so I mean, the main things for me is just deeper intimacy with God each and every day, you know. I pray like at least 3 times a day. I used to hate praying, man, but like I know like it's such an important part of like my identity in Christ is just to pray. You know what I mean?
The same way I hate
Yeah, yeah, but like and then you get to the point where it's like you can't stop, you know, because you just want to build that intimacy, you want to grow. So I pray like at least 3 times a day about everything, man. And then you know I know my church community is a big thing too. Like I know in the past I've you know, whenever people have like hurt my feelings or disagreed with me or anything like that, I've just like I've gotten mad and I've isolated, and that's been really really bad because like I know obviously you know you don't want your individual relationship with God has to come first, but then also I know that having that fellowship is an important thing too, and I'm just so grateful for having that family as well because they have just been, you know, they've been seeing me through and believing even when I don't want to, and that's why we need each other. We need that tribe, that people of believers and even non-believers too, because you know that always, you know, that brings into that love when you have both people from both sections saying like, look, we may not see eye to eye, but we still love you and we're here for you. So I mean that's been really important, just having that individual relationship, that fellowship, and yeah, so I say faith is the strongest it's ever been. And honestly, when it comes to like movies and TV shows and stuff, like now, like if I see it through a faith lens, I'm gonna be making videos about it, which is awesome. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's really cool that like that God's given me the ability to see the entertainment that I'm gonna be consuming for videos and even making, you know, like through a lens of faith. Because even like with Nerf Modern Warfare, if you guys don't know about it, we're writing this this series based off of the original Modern Warfare games with Nerf guns. So it's like it'll be like action films that are spin-offs of the original Modern Warfare games with original stories. But even with stuff like, and that's called Nerf Modern Warfare, even with stuff like that, I mean that can be super powerful, you know, because you know, growing up in the early 2000s, like it was not cool to be a nerd, and now we're in a time when like nerd culture is mainstream, but there's still a lot of people out there who are struggling to be themselves just because of all of the influence and the BS that they have out there, you know. So it's just like even making something like that, it's just like, no, dude, it's okay to be yourself. Like obviously not everyone's gonna like that kind of stuff, but you know, you do you, and I want to emphasize that so much. It's just like, you know, love who you are and just make it. You know what I mean? So yeah, so. That was a long way, but hey, that long tangent. But that's good, bro. But yeah, no, faith is the strongest it's ever been, man. And obviously, it's not easy, but God's got this. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So yeah, we're about like 9 minutes left. So
wow, we
hit it.
We hit that hour mark, but
yeah, and we're on the last song too. So good timing. Yeah. Word,
guys. So. This was a fucking weird. Good but crazy episode. Yep. Got injured midway through this episode.
This man needs a massage and ice. Pray for this one. Poor guy. Getting up and stretching and shit.
Dude, it's a first for our podcast. For sure.
I shouldn't be laughing so hard when he's hurt. But you gotta see his face right now. He's like, oh, I hate life.
Oh my god, dude. It's like, it's not too bad. It's just if I move. Okay, that's a whole different thing. Yeah, we should be talking. Hopefully this episode will kind of, you know, like I said, I don't want it to be too forced, but hopefully it does get some people to think. And if you are someone who is religious and hopefully this helps you kind of just stay connected to God, or you know, if you're someone who has been out of touch for a little bit, hopefully this helps. And this is just more of our own personal perspective.
Yeah, our own personal journeys. Yeah. So.
And how that if anything, to go watch Daredevil. If there's any takeaway, go watch Daredevil on Netflix, because that definitely sums up everything that we've been talking about.
Yeah, great show too.
Or watch horror movies. Probably not horror movies, but you know what I mean.
Watch Daredevil, okay?
Yeah.
If you take away nothing else from this, watch Daredevil. Watch Daredevil.
And you know, we'll probably be doing more of these kinds of episodes. Not necessarily just about faith, but you know, just different types of topics.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll enjoy it as much as our regular topics about video games and comic books and all that kind of thing. You know? Yep. So
I'm regular guest. I'm gonna be here. Here. Yep. So
yeah, we'll keep it going. Hope you guys enjoy this episode. I am Alberto.
Edgar.
And the black guy, Action Nerd Media.
And this has been Two Brothers.
And a black guy.
We'll see you guys on the next episode.
Peace out.
Peace.
Yep.